Welcome to Rethink, the podcast that empowers you to challenge your existing beliefs and embrace new, more productive ways of thinking. Here at Rethink, we believe that the key to self-fulfillment lies in shattering old thought patterns and adopting new mindsets that support personal growth and empowerment. With expert guests and thought leaders from a wide range of fields, we explore strategies and insights that can help you achieve success and fulfillment in all areas of your life. From relationships to career, business ownership, and health, you are the source of your own success. We're just here to help you tap into your true potential and create a brighter future. So join us on the journey of personal growth and empowerment, and let's rethink what's possible for our lives. Is the fear of being seen keeping you playing small? Visibility is a vibration. So is the fear of being seen keeping you playing small ball? It does affect thousands of people, creators, coaches, visionaries. It keeps a lot of us playing small. I don't just mean like showing your face on social media like YouTube and Facebook and things like that. I mean being actually seen for your truth and your work, your passion, your story, the things you believe, and of course, ultimately what you feel that you're called to contribute to the world. The fear of visibility isn't new. It's actually a very old concept. Think about it. Historically, being seen often meant being judged and being exiled or even being harmed, depending on what the results of the majority were. Your nervous system carries these memories. So it's not a surprise that when the time comes for you to go live or you to post vulnerable content or captions or to launch an offer, your hands may shake a little bit. There's some trepidation about doing it. Your brain races back and forth about, what if? What if my coworkers, or what if my family members, or what if my fraternity, sorority, best friend, etc.? What ifs? This isn't a mindset issue. It's a safety issue. I want to validate this. You're not broken. This is not something that just happens to you. It's kind of like imposter syndrome. We sort of isolate ourselves into these thoughts and think it's only just us. If you're avoiding visibility, it's not even laziness. It's your body trying to protect you. It's your mind trying to protect you. But there needs to be a shift. And here's the shift that we're going to make today. Visibility, while it can be scary, it's also a sacred act of alignment, not anxiety. It's one of those things I equate to when before you go on the stage to make this great speech or rendition in terms of acting, before you go and play a ball game, we get this really nervous energy about ourselves. It's not that we're not prepared. It's that we're stepping onto that arena. Everybody's going to see us. We're going to be, in that vein of who we are at our highest and at our peaks. When you're living in your truth, when you're in that truth, showing up isn't a performance, though. It's not a performance. It's a transmission of the energy of source or the universe flowing through you and out to your community, to the people that message needs to hear. So today, this is what we're talking about. We're on day 21. Welcome into the podcast, day 21. 30 days to manifestation and monetization. Today is visibility. Visibility is a vibration. And I do believe that this message resonates with a lot of you. Many times we are fearful of judgment. And so while we are very competent and very secure in ourselves in terms of what it is we believe, we are hesitant to share it with others. Because of what they may say or how they may feel and how ultimately that's going to make us feel, right? Judged, exiled, and all this other kind of stuff. In a day and age of social media, it's really easy to feel that way because, people can put their thoughts out there and there's a group, it seems like their number one goal is to just kind of knock everybody about the head and tell them that, no, this isn't right, or no, I don't agree with this. But what do you do when you feel strongly about your vision, be it a product or service, because remember what we're talking about. This is 30 days to manifestation and monetization. We're talking about you providing a service, a product or service, something that you're passionate about, that's going to not only generate revenue for you, but do really the best thing, which is help people in the community, people in the world, because you're passionate about doing that as well. But what if it's something that is not very popular? Or what if it's something that you feel like people will judge you for? How do you get past that? So let's talk about visibility. And listen, I'm going to jump straight into it, but there's a lot of stuff in the show notes there, guys. If you want to support the podcast, please do. Also, if you want to share, like, and subscribe, particularly if you're new to the podcast, thank you for hanging out with me today. Here's an opportunity that most people miss. Visibility isn't just about perfection. It's about presence. And as we lead up to day 21, we've been talking literally about your presence, your digital presence out in the digital space, because it's important and people need to hear from you. And I think your integrity, your face, your voice with your product or service sells that product or service like nobody else can. So when your nervous system feels safe, your message flows naturally, no problem. But when it doesn't, okay. Your content has depth, and you can tell that it has integrity and there's transparency there. Your audience feels it. They lean in because they're feeling that you are real. You are a real you. But when visibility is filtered through fear, you delay launching your product, right? You delay launching your product. You have certain projects that are not done around the product itself, so it can't launch. So maybe some of the market material is slow coming. You record videos, but you never post them. Been there, done that. You burn out creating content because it's a performative thing, right? You're trying to match what other people are doing. It's not really who you are. It's not authentic. Been there, done that. But here's the cost of avoiding visibility. You stay underbooked. Your product or service is underwhelming, and it doesn't get out to the people that it needs to get to. Your message remains hidden. The people who need you, they don't find you because you're hidden. And so your dream clients and the opportunities that you are contemplating and visualizing are on the other side of actually being seen. So what, Kelly, are some things that we can do to be seen and to break through this wall, this proverbial wall of fear, because that's really what it is? All right, so let's talk about that, because this is a psychological path that we're all going to have to walk at some point. So here are some solutions I'm going to provide for you today. Let's first of all begin to reframe the way we think about visibility. That is part of the healing piece, right? This is not a business chore per se. This is a personal thing that you have to do within yourself. And number one is understand your visibility wounds. Wounds, WOUNDS. So ask yourself this. When was the first time that I felt unsafe being seen? Being seen, SEEN. And that question brought back a lot to me, because I was a kid who grew up without a father. And my father was killed when I was very, very young. And, kids' minds work in kid ways, right? But I always felt less than. I always felt embarrassed about that in some crazy way around my friends, because everybody else, their dad was at their house and stuff. So I was always different. Just put it that way. I was always different. So I didn't want to be seen. I didn't want people to know that truth about me. Okay. So ask yourself, when was the first time that I felt unsafe being seen? And then secondly, who made me feel like that? Who made me feel that way? Is it too much or not enough? I'm not good enough, and these sorts of things. And then what's my body's response? What was my body's response when I begin to think about these things? Like right now, when I recanted the story for you, at my age, thinking about a 5-year-old or 7-year-old or 9-year-old, would have been me at the time, feeling that way, it makes me sad for that kid. It makes me upset for that kid. That kid was me, but it makes me upset. I have grandkids at this point. They're not that old, but I don't want my kids, I wouldn't want my grandkids to go through what I went through. And the reason why you want to do this is because you want to understand, you want the clarity. You want the clarity helps to depolarize the fear of being seen. So that's number one. Understand your visibility wounds, because if you're like me and you're relatively introverted, to get out and to be seen is kind of going against the grain. So you should give yourself a pat on the back for just making a really good attempt at doing it. Now, you're going to do it because we don't attempt to do things. We either do them or we don't. But just being on the play field, on the playground is where it gets started. So step number 2, regulate before you show up. All right. So let's use some safety practices before visibility moments. How do we do that? Because we know our triggers and we know that some of these things are going to upset us from the standpoint we get really nervous or we have anxiety and things like that. We can do breathing exercises. Box breathing is one of the more popular things that I like to do. That means if you look at a box, like a square, put a 4 or 8 or 6 on each side and use those as your seconds to inhale, hold, exhale, same amount of seconds, hold, inhale again, hold, and exhale. So that's a box. So you go around the box and you do your inhale. And what that does, it relaxes your sympathetic nervous system and it allows you to calm down. Butterfly hug. Tap your shoulders rhythmically while breathing deeply. Tap your shoulders rhythmically while breathing deeply. Butterfly hug. Grounding affirmations help. Taking your shoes off, being outside in the ground while you're doing it doesn't hurt either. Things like, it's safe to be seen in my purpose. It's safe to be seen in my purpose. And that's one of the thoughts I want you to write down and I want you to take with you. If this is something that resonates with you, if you have a fear of being seen in your purpose, it's safe to be seen in my purpose. So many of my friends and coworkers or family members, for all of us, this is true. They meet you at certain stages in your life and they know you at that level. And unfortunately, that really never changes. Like, I'm going to always be my older sister's younger brother. It's never going to change. And so she may always see me as less knowledgeable, whatever an older sister thinks of a younger sibling, she may always see me that way, right? But it shouldn't hold me back from progress, is my point. Your husband, your wife, your partner may have met you in your teens or early 20s, and now you're in your 40s or 50s. And you have different philosophy of life, or your philosophy has matured, and you are different you now. And so, can you show that part of yourself to your partner now? Can you show that to your husband or wife? These practices, what we've illustrated here, are going to help to soothe that fight or flight response that's in your brain, and to help you to be calm. Because again, the key here is for you to deliver the message about your product or service in a very confident manner. That's going to help you. That's going to serve your company. Step number 3, rebuild trust with micro visibility. Rebuild trust with micro visibility. What does that mean? Well, you don't need to leap to begin. You don't have to make a jump. You can just start walking. Just walk in that right direction.
Let's take a quick break.
Hey guys, we're going to get you back to that exciting podcast very soon. But I wanted to break in and just let you know that we have relaunched, revamped, revitalized our 31 Days to New Beginning. It is a powerful step-by-step course. It is designed to help you to reset your mindset, to build new habits, and yes, create lasting positive change in your life. Over the span of 31 days, you'll be guided through daily lessons and journaling prompts and even actionable exercises that are going to help you to break free from limiting beliefs. It's going to help you to gain clarity on your goals and also help you to develop the confidence you're going to need to pursue your life's dreams. So whether you're feeling stuck or you're simply ready for a fresh start, the course, 31 Days to New Beginning, is going to provide you with the tools, the strategies, and the support that you're going to need to transform your life from the inside out. So why don't you start the journey today? Go over, click on 31 Days of New Beginning, and step into a new chapter of growth, of purpose, and fulfillment. Let's get back to our podcast. Post a story, maybe showing your desk, your work area. Write a vulnerable caption without your photo. Comment an authentic comment on another person's post. Each act is a representation or even a rep. If we're doing weights, it's a rep that's going to train your nervous system that is being seen, but is safe, right? So you're not showing a picture of you, but you can see your hands on your desk and you're working. You're not on your post, but you're on someone else's post, and you're providing the same sort of guidance and content and feedback and things like that. It's a way for you to be seen in a safe way as you slowly move yourself up to further visibility. Step number 4 is anchor into purpose. Anchor into your purpose, not a performance. Excuse me. Visibility isn't for applause. What you're doing is aligning. Because just from a personal experience, I sort of went through this. I can't say I fully embrace, being seen for my purpose and doing the work that I do, because that wouldn't be true. But I did think sometimes, like, all right, my wife sees this. It's not something we talk about all the time, or at least at the beginning. What is she going to say? Like, I don't agree with this, or I don't think that's cool, or whatever. What is it going to do to the way that I think about myself? The people closest to me, if they find my podcast, am I ready to have a conversation about non-traditional, spiritual beliefs that they may still hold that I don't, right? That's a possibility. I started thinking about people that I still hold dearly as friends. And, what if they are not a part of what I believe, and that sort of thing. So it's always some level of trepidation. So what I'm saying to you is, when I decided that it's more important, this work is more important than the way that I feel in terms of my ego and pride, or the way someone else feels who's not in this space or not in this space yet, I just decided it's okay. It is completely okay. I'm safe. I do think the people that love me still love me. So I'm safe, and I really do enjoy providing this content to people that I feel appreciate it, and I feel that my audience does. Why else would they? We're doing one of two things. Either we're doing really good work, which I believe we are, or we are a group of people in an insane asylum. Why would you continue to come back to a channel or to a podcast that you don't really like, but you're watching it like every time I post something? You see what I'm saying? Like, so I'm being funny, but I have a sincere belief that there's a group, I don't care how small or large it is, but there's a group that decided that this has value to them, right? This has value to them. And I want to, as long as I can, to provide that value. And I want you to take that same sentiment as you are crafting and creating your product or service. Use that same sentiment. If it's 10 people, let's say you do, really high energy print on demand t-shirts, and you've only sold 10. Yeah, well, you before you sell 100, you got to sell 10. So you're at 10. That's awesome. But there's 10 people who thought that, hey man, this is a really neat idea. I love that energy. If you are a masseuse and you provide really good service and you help people in terms of their physical therapy and the way their body feels, and you can lead them and guide them into meditative practices, and you can help their nervous system stay calm, that is a blessing. That is a total blessing. Now, how do you get a lot of people to know that you exist? If you're an introvert and you're not really out there on social media, you got to start changing the way you think about being visible. Change the way that you think about being visible. Okay. All right. So that was anchor and purpose and not performance. what would it mean to you if one person, for one person to feel seen because of you? Ask yourself that. What would it mean to you for one person to feel seen because of you, because of the work that you do? When you shift your ego to impact, the fear, I don't want to say it goes away, but it certainly softens and it becomes less important. It's one of these deals where if you listen to Abraham or even Basar or someone like that, and also if you want to do a biblical reference, because this is in the Bible as well, there are a lot of sacred scriptures that hold this same sort of ideology, and that is this: there's a lot going on in your 3D environment in the world. You have a choice. If I had the choice, I would focus on the stuff I want, the good stuff. I would focus on that. Now, it's not saying the not so great stuff isn't occurring. We are just making a choice to focus on the positive stuff, the good stuff. And when you do that, this stuff over here is still there, like behind you. But if you never turn around, is it actually there? It is, but it's not. Because what you focus on and what you practice, you eventually become. And that is at the forefront of your mind. That's where the majority of your thoughts are. And if you're not thinking about the negative stuff, you're not focused on the negative stuff, in some ways the negative stuff kind of goes away. You're no longer giving energy to the negative stuff. The only thing that can live in your life is things that you give energy to. And if you are constantly on social media fighting with this group or that group, if you are constantly at the dinner table fighting with this group or that group, if you are constantly in your community fighting with this group or that group, then you're sending out that energy and you're going to get more and more and more of that. It's just a universal principle. You can send light though. You can be the light. You can have as much peace in the same world as people are having trepidation. You just have to decide that you want to do it. So my point is, focus on the things that matter, the people that you are helping. In this case, your product or service is helping someone. Focus on that. Focus on that. Last thing is create a visibility ritual. Visibility should be a vibe, not a one-time task. It's something that you want to get up to speed with. I kind of equate it to public speaking because you kind of have the same sort of rollout. One of the elements of public speaking that people fear is actually being physically seen. All of the attention is on to them. The spotlight is on them. Now, listen, you do have to be prepared. You got to know your information. You've got to speak clearly. You got to do all that stuff to be a good public speaker. However, the first thing that happens is that people see you and you're on the stage or you're at the podium or you're online, whatever you're doing, you're there usually by yourself. And so there is a fear of being actually seen. You can light a candle before your film. You know, if you're filming stuff like I'm filming a podcast, I told you guys 100 times, when we first started doing the podcast, there was no video element. I decided later on to bring it into it because I thought it would be a little bit more impactful, but it was a thing that I had to go through the same process. Am I comfortable being on YouTube and being seen on Instagram? You know, I went through that same process of thinking, how are people going to, especially this gets really, really popular and more people know about it. What was my family going to say? You know, you go through that. So this is normal and you're not out by yourself. Okay. Connect yourself with a positive vibration about your product or service. Recite to yourself this: I'm visible. Yes, it's true. I am visible in truth. Okay, whatever your truth is, I'm visible now in that truth. It's kind of like, I don't want to, well, I'm not going to use that example because I've never been in the closet. But let's just say you were hidden and now you're revealed. Okay, you spend a lot of time not being seen. Now you're being seen. It brings a lot of power. You say to yourself, I attract great opportunities. All right. I'm visible in my truth and I attract now great opportunities because now one of the benefits of being seen is being seen. Other people who have that same mentality and methodology and ideology, they now can come to you and you guys can go to each other because, hey, I didn't know you liked the Cowboys, or I didn't know you believed in this. And it becomes a thing where you can now benefit from being seen. So think of it that way. You can now benefit from being seen. So the universe can't deliver your dream life if you are hiding from the spotlight. Think of that. The universe cannot deliver to you your dream life if you are hiding from the spotlight. And the spotlight may be required. It might be required. So when you go back and listen to this podcast again, I want you to take that concept, that idea, and hear it a different way. The universe is going to deliver to you that wonderful, wonderful business that you've been trying to get off the ground, be it product or service, those ideas that you keep going round and round in your head, thinking about how wonderful it will be when it gets going. Get out there in the spotlight, talk to people about it, be proud of it, living your truth. Do 60 seconds of breath work every day, thinking about visualizing how awesome your product or service is going to be. Share a truth on your Instagram, social media, TikTok, whatever it is you do. Just share that twice a day in your, progress toward being more visible. Speak to one person. Speak to one person once a week, twice a week about your product or service. Not everyone, but speak to one person. Post from alignment. Don't try to copy what other people are doing. It's okay to see what people are gravitating to in your genre, but be authentic, be yourself. No algorithm. Let's forget about that for a while. Just put your good energy out there and see what happens. And then end every day and celebrate by saying, I showed up in truth today. I was my authentic self today. I represented myself very well today. I represented my product, my company, my service very well today. All right. Guys, thank you for hanging out with me. As always, we'll be back tomorrow. We're almost, is this the last week? Yeah, this is probably going to be the last week that we record in terms of our 30 days to manifestation and monetization, our series. But I really do appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. Go back and listen to the podcast again, and I will see you tomorrow. That's all for today's episode of Rethink. We hope that you've enjoyed this exploration of new ideas and perspectives and found valuable insights and strategies that you can apply to your life. Remember, you are the source of your own success and fulfillment. And by embracing new ways of thinking, you can unlock your true potential and yes, create the life that you truly desire. Now, if you've enjoyed this episode, we encourage you to support the podcast by sharing it with your friends, your family members, your loved ones, and associates, and even your followers on social media. Also, leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. Lastly, don't forget to check out our show notes for free downloads and empowering ebooks that can help you on your journey of personal growth and empowerment. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. We look forward to exploring more ideas and insights with you in the next episode of Rethink.